Happy Thursday. Thursday's here, the sun is shining, I am wearing a brand new jumper with strawberries and love hearts on, and I don't think I could be any more excited about spring. I have had a morning. I got up, did the stuff with the kids, visited my grandma, caught up with my mum, and I came home to a gigantic delivery of polystyrene balls. The filler for a beanbag that Rob and I bought last week. And I'm not telling you, it took 3 gigantic bags of the tiny little polystyrene balls that are like used for packaging and filling beanbags, of course. I spilt some of the bag. It went everywhere, but it couldn't have been a funnier accident. There was tiny polystyrene balls, like literally all over the living room. And the beanbag, well, I think that could fit all 4 of us on it quite comfortably. It's huge. I didn't order it. It's another one of those things where I've said something and then Rob's gone online and ordered something because I have said something. Apart from this beanbag literally takes up the same amount of space as a chair. We could have got a chair, and we've got a beanbag because the kids are constantly running out of battery on their tablets when they come home from school. Sometimes they'll have an hour or whatever on tablets, half an hour, however long they stay on them, varies day to day, and they always end up sitting on the cold floor, and I always feel like it's not very fair. There should be a, noticing my cheeks a bit blushed there, so they always end up sitting on the floor, and it don't seem very fair that they're sat on the cold floor because we've got hard floors throughout downstairs. So we're like, we should get some floor cushions. So that way we've got extra seating for when we have guests round or when the kids decide that they need to sit next to a plug and all that good stuff. So Rob ordered the most gigantic beanbag. Apart from, he didn't order the beanbag, he ordered a beanbag cover. I have filled this beanbag up and it's a giant, great big, moss green, fluffy, shaggy beanbag. And I have literally just poured all the polystyrene balls into that bag. And I'm very tempted to sew this zip shut. Because if Ewan finds out that he can just unzip it, I don't even know what I'd do with that amount of polystyrene balls if they came out of that beanbag. There's so many. Like the size of the packaging that these polystyrene balls came in was like the same size as me. It was literally up to my shoulder. And there were 2 of them, plus another one which was about half the size. It's cost a fortune to fill. And it's the comfiest thing. Very excited to sit on a beanbag. It's not something I've ever owned. But I am dreading the point when one of the children, or even Rob, decides that they're going to open it with the zip. Because I already had a moment today where I opened it to put a few more extra polystyrene balls in, and the dog jumped on it and the polystyrene just went everywhere. I've hoovered up a lot today. I haven't even been in the house that long and I've hoovered up a lot today. But the Gables looks good and the kids are going to love sitting on it. So that is a thing today. So I hope, firstly, that you've had an incredible week. I am having the best time romanticising life this week, and maybe it's because the sun is out and shining, or maybe I'm just getting the hang of it and I'm concentrating more on enjoying the small things. But I'm really enjoying romanticising every little thing. So like, I'm waking up on a morning and it's a little bit lighter now, but I can hear the birds singing as soon as I wake up, which is a joy. And we live close by to like a little selection of trees which are just outside the window, which is why I'm looking that way. And we have crows nesting and we have magpies nesting, and I know in some of the eaves of the houses that there are starlings nesting. I think there's a family of blue tits as well that are quite close by because I keep seeing them in the garden. I just love this time of year. I still think autumn's my favourite time of year, but spring, it just breathes life into everything and it makes it so easy to romanticise all the little small things. So yeah, waking up and hearing the birds singing, it's such a mood booster. So yesterday, I walked over to my grandma's with Nancy, and Nancy did a good long walk. It's just shy of 2 miles there, so it takes me about half an hour to walk. So I did half an hour there, half an hour on the way back. So Nancy was quite tired because I do normally take her on a decent walk on a day, but it's not quite 2 miles for the full walk normally. So she's done a good 3.5 to 4 miles yesterday, so she was quite tired for the rest of the day, which was quite nice actually. She kind of chilled out a little bit more. But we got to my grandma's house. Sorry, totally zoned out for a second then. We got to my grandma's house and I let the dog through the door, took her lead off, and she spent the first 10 minutes of our visit barking at my grandma, even though it's not our house and it's my grandma's house. She's such a pest. So she did calm down eventually, and then she was absolutely fine. She's not in the slightest a vicious dog, she's just very gobby. So that was nice. A very barky visit when we were there. The kids came out of school yesterday and they'd had a good day until it was tidy up time for youv'e. So we're in the process at the moment of having youv'e assessed for autism, and one of the things that we'd flagged him for, other than the developmental delays, was big emotions. So like, he's extreme, so if he gets angry, he's angry and explosive, or if he's happy, he's so ridiculously giddy, and everything in between. If he's sad, he cries, like it's hard to console him, those kind of things. So yesterday at school, he was asked to tidy up and given a very specific job, and he was getting on with his job because he's a very good boy at school normally. And another little girl, I am mortified by this. I am absolutely mortified by this, by the way. But this little girl swooped in and tried to take over this job, and he told her, no, this is my job. But she proceeded to take the thing off him that he was doing. And he got so angry, he bit her on the finger. Now, he hasn't done any damage, thank goodness, and he hasn't even left a mark on the poor girl. And he said sorry 1,000 times, which he should have absolutely done. But this just is an overflow of emotions. Now, he understands what he has done is wrong, but it's like he almost doesn't have that control / point where he knows he should stop before it happens. It's just a complete overflow of emotions, and he's lashed out. And I'm absolutely mortified because normally we're on the receiving end of something like this. And I didn't know whether to get him to make his little friend a card, but I know it had been dealt with at school, and we've had a conversation at home as well, and he knows he shouldn't be biting. He definitely knows, and he was so sad about it, because even when we went to pick him up yesterday, he was just so beside himself, and he was like practically sobbing on his way out of school, and he was very sad and upset and sorry for what he'd done. So I'm kind of hoping that doesn't happen again. But again, this is part of the whole huge, big emotions that he finds really hard to handle. I can't blame him. Emotions are hard. Goodness me, I think I've cried in every vlog so far. I'm trying to get better, or at least cut the bits out where I'm crying now. But it's hard to regulate yourself as an adult, let alone being a child. And the little girl was told, no, this is my job and all the rest of it. Not that I'm giving him an excuse, but she was also in the wrong, that's what I'm trying to say. She did a wrong thing to Ewan, and therefore his sense of justice was just completely blown out of the water, and he's lashed out. So yeah, a little bit mortified about that. But he's gone on with a happy smile, and I think it's actually the little girl's birthday today, and she didn't seem to bat an eye when she went past him. She was just kind of like happy and a normal self, if I've spotted the right girl. So I hope she's okay, and I really, really hope that he doesn't bite anybody else, because that's just terrifying. I don't want my children biting anyone. For the autism assessment for Ewan, we went in, and I don't know if I've discussed this, but they kind of observed through play and had him do a few little bits there. It was very different to what we went through with Delilah, which was last year in June. But for Ewan, well, I suppose it's been 4 years for Ewan, really, because he's nearly 5, and he's definitely been flagged since he were about 1 for developmental delays. So they've taken and observed him and played. And I've always been of a mindset with Ewan that I have no idea what it is. I just know something is different about him, because he's very much not like his sister. He's very social, and he's very loving. He loves to have a cuddle. I don't know, it's just, he's very fussy on his eating. He's got really restricted eating, and he struggles going to the bathroom as well, which is a constant battle, because they've given him medication for that to help make it easier for him to go. But we're still at the point where we're holding it too long, and then, oh, this is a horrible topic, please excuse me saying this, but it's literally running out of him when he's held it for too long, which is awful. But it's what we're dealing with on a weekly basis. It happens at least once or twice a week, to the point where he hasn't been to the toilet for so long, so then he's having to come out one way or another. And even with the medication, it doesn't seem to have made any better for him. And it doesn't matter how much coaching you give him, it doesn't matter how much you praise, or it doesn't matter how many times you just act as though it's completely normal that he's gone to the toilet. He's really super proud when he does go. It's very much like a party atmosphere. But again, we've tried it being more upbeat and positive, and oh my god, well done, that's amazing. Or we've tried making it as normal as possible, and good job, that's great, wash your hands, let's go. Kind of a bit more neutral about it, and it doesn't matter how we react to either accidents or going to the toilet. It doesn't help him just go. It's been the most challenging thing, and it is the most challenging thing, and anyone who's having toilet issues with their children that are no longer toddlers, you will know it's a really hard, difficult situation to be in, because you're still having to pack spares for like the shortest trip. You can't go out of the house without having a full emergency go kit in the car or with you, just in case of accidents, because you just don't know when it's going to happen. And you're always planning. You always need to know that there's a toilet nearby, or a toilet where you're going, so that you can get there. But yeah, we've still not heard back from that. I thought we would have had some kind of indication, but I'm assuming that basically in the assessment there was 3 women. There were 2 in the room with us and 1 other practitioner behind like a glass, like a mirrored window. So Ewan couldn't see her, but she could see him and how he was acting. I think they're going to debate over him, and I'm not entirely sure that he will get a diagnosis for autism. But then I have the question of, well, if it's not autism, what is this? And how could we help him? How can school help him? Because 4 years is an awful long time to wait. We've had it with Delilah. You know, if we have to go through a 4-year wait list again, just to get him assessed a second time, I think I might pull my hair out, because we've waited this long for Delilah and for Ewan. It's so difficult. So anyone who's going through an assessment, autism assessment, ADHD assessment, or whatever kind of spectrum based development issue you are going through, I feel for you, like wholeheartedly feel for you, because it is not an easy road. Yeah, so that's kind of up in the air at the moment, and we're waiting for some kind of write-up on that, and I'm sure he will remain under the classes Child Development Services where we are. We're in the Bradford district. So I'm hoping that we stay under the doctor that we've currently got, because he seems to understand like what I explain to him when we do go in for an appointment. That, and Ewan adores him as well, so that's really nice. And they've got like this really sweet little relationship where the doctor calls him friend, and Ewan's just so into that. He's like, yeah, this is my friend and we are going to play today, so that's really lovely. But I'm hoping that we can get some kind of answer as to what's going on, because like I say, it's a fight, it's a continuous fight for anything SEN related. Tomorrow is Thursday, and I believe if the weather stays nice that you and I might go for a breakfast picnic in my local park, and I may pack up some things and I may take some watercolour paints with me, and again, weather permitting, I may sit and have a go at some painting. Now don't get me wrong, I am not particularly good at painting, but I do enjoy it. And if you enjoy something, why on earth are you not doing more of it? I think it'll be a lovely thing to do. With the idea of romanticising life, we need to be taking things that we love the most and doing them more. That's what I'm concluding. I have read so much more since maybe last week or the week before. I really gave my head a bit of a shake, and I decided that no matter what's going on, I would find happy and positive things to think about. See, big emotions, no regulation. So we're finding all the little things, all the good things, and we are totally romanticising them. So I am a good way through Anne of Green Gables, which is absolutely gorgeous. I love this book. It's so cottagecore, which I'm really into at the moment. So anything whimsical and simple life and animals and outdoor spaces, all of it. It's so nice. It's just a nice thing to be into, and maybe it's not even a thing. Maybe it's just how life should be. I definitely feel it should be a bit more like that. It should be simple. Everything's too complicated right now in this world. So I'm making it simple. I am going to wear a ribbon in my hair if I feel like it. I am going to go for a long walk through a random field if I want, and sit in a park and paint. Because why not? Absolutely, why not? I'm going to read as many books as I can in my free time, and I'm going to encourage my kids to do so. I have noticed, which has been really nice actually, since I had this little mindset change, the kids have watched so much less TV and used their devices less, because of, maybe it's because they're seeing me doing other things, like I am sat with my nose in a book, or I am sat at the kitchen table doing some crafting or some writing or some painting or whatever it is. Tomorrow, you and I are going for that walk / picnic / painting session in the park, and I think that'll be really good. So maybe you can be brave too and come along and paint with me at your local park if you feel like it. I don't know. If it rains, we may jump in puddles on the way. I think that'll be quite fun. Just make sure you wear your wellies. I will see you shortly, but for now I am going to go sort my house out and clear up a lot of polystyrene balls. You may be coming to my beanbag corner, and it might be my beanbag before the end of the day rather than the kids'. Don't know. Not sure, but I'm going to go and enjoy that now, along with a cup. No more tea. I've drank too much caffeine today. I'm going to go and enjoy the beanbag chair before the kids get out of school and have a very large drink of water, because I haven't drunk any water today and everything that has passed my lips has been caffeinated. So I'm going to go sort that out now, before I forget. I'll see you soon. I'm here to say happy Friday. So, hello, happy Friday. The kids are at school. I am just having a coffee before heading off to my grandma's today. And I thought we could make a cake. Good morning, it's Monday. I've just dropped the kids off at school and I am about to get on with daily life for myself here at home and for my grandma at her house. I want to talk about books first. I've finished on a Green Gables. I think it's taken the top spot ever for books for me. I think it's my new favourite. I absolutely love it. It's just so beautiful and it's so uplifting and it's just nice and cozy. So if you like a cozy read when it's just nice and there's no nastiness in it in the slightest, so this is just the book to read if you want something like Hyde. I fully recommend it at this time of year as well. Some of the descriptions of like the landscape Anne is seeing, who's the main character in it, obviously, are just so beautiful, and they're so spring-like as well. Like some of the things that she's describing just describes spring perfectly. So that one is wholeheartedly recommended. So the next book that I am going to be reading is Secret Garden, which is really cute. I visited my brother yesterday for his birthday just to drop his card and his money off for that, and his daughter, who's the same age as my daughter, just a couple of months older, has started reading this too, so I feel like we're reading it together. So when I see her, which is normally Mondays, she can tell me where she's got to and we can have a little chat about it, which is really quite cute. So that's on the reading front. On Friday we made a cake and it ended up being a vanilla sponge layered with raspberry buttercream, and it was very nice, although it was a bit of a rustic cake, so it's not my prettiest, but I really enjoyed making it. And sometimes it's nice to just throw things in the mixer and go from there. I did make it in the mix, but you don't have to do that. We over the weekend went to Ton Garden Centre to get some new fish for the tank, and we got a new plec, and the kids called it Luna because it's like a yellowy white colour. It's very pretty actually, but she's really tiny. I'm assuming she's a she. She's probably not a she at all. It's really quite tiny, so it's quite hard to get an image of her yet. We've got some more shrimp as well. I got new glasses. I'm hoping, and I don't know if it's the case yet because this is the first time I filmed with them on, they arrived on Friday, but I'm hoping that it won't give as much glare. I went for ones without the blue light filter on. My other glasses, they've got the blue light filter, and I think that's worse on the reflection. So yeah, I'm seeing that there is a little bit of a reflection on there, but I'm hoping that it's not too bad. Little school update. I thought everything was going swimmingly well, and I've left this topic alone for a couple of weeks with you, and yeah, it's a constant stressor. So I'm feeling like the Senko at this particular school isn't very switched on, or she's like ridiculously busy, because every time we speak we put things in place for Delilah mainly at this moment in time, but I'm going to have to have conversations with them about youv'e as well, but especially for Delilah. I went in, as you know if you've seen the previous vlogs, and we had discussions, and there were lists of action points that needed to be ticked off for the classroom for her, and things put in place so that she felt more comfortable there, and I was assured that those things were going to happen. So on Friday, turned up to pick them up, and one of my friends, her son is autistic, and one of my friends were absolutely fuming. Her and her husband were stood waiting to speak to the teacher, who happens to be Senko on Friday, so our Senko lady takes the class on Fridays. And nothing that had been discussed for either her son or Delilah has been put in place. Now, I wasn't aware of any of this, and this is half the problem, because our children have, it's not a communication issue, it's a memory issue. It is for Delilah anyway. Excuse me. So for Delilah, it's a memory issue. Her short-term memory isn't all that. So if something's not right at school, by the time she gets home, she's completely forgotten about it. But anyway, these things that were supposed to be actioned and put in place for her so she can feel more comfortable, there was stuff like an elastic band type exercise thing on the chair legs so she can kick back off it and have some sensory input there, and she's supposed to have like I don't know if they call it a wobble cushion. I don't actually know what that is, but it's some kind of tactile rocking seat thing that she just puts on a chair that she's got movement on, and she's not at danger of flipping a chair back because she's a constant chair swinger and fidget. She just moves all the time. So that was supposed to be put in place, and it still hasn't been put in place. Now, I am due this week to go talk to her class teacher, or her now class teacher, who is the loveliest person. But my fear is now that the Senko is not communicating with the class teacher or giving the class teacher the aids that the kids need to be able to thrive in that situation, which we're also promised. So I feel like we're kind of back to square one. It's not as bad as it was, but when you're not having the interventions and the moments of calm in between, or the moments to move your body, that's when things get exacerbated, and it's harder for the kids to be like included in stuff, because this is when they fidget more or they'll get disruptive because they don't have those things in place. And it's just, it feels like it's bad communication across the board. Like, I feel like I still want to press for the flexible learning, because I do not for a second believe that they can catch Delilah up for 2 years worth of work in a case of 2 half terms now. Because what are we on? We're in March, so we've got till June, which, well, mid-July, but we've got till mid-July to get caught up for 2 years, because next year is when the work really starts towards SATs and moving on to high school and all the rest of it. So this year is the last year she can kind of really catch up. So I don't really know where I'm going to go with that. I know I've got a meeting this week in the diary, and there will be a long list of questions and hopefully some answers, because I just don't believe they're doing what they said they were going to do. Which is stressful, because it means more battles and trying to stay positive through the battles. And I know I'm procrastinating now because I have to go into the village to pick something up, and I have to deliver something to the village, and then I've got to do my grandma's shopping and obviously go spend a bit of time over there doing her things and picking up from the weekend there. But it's quite a depressing thought knowing that I have to come home and literally sort out every single room again. Like, I've not even made the bed this morning because I want to change the bedding, but there's so much stuff going on in my head, like I don't know where to start first. So it could be an interesting day. I might actually make a list and try and work my way through the list, because otherwise I'm probably just going to sit in a heap on the floor and not do much at all. And I really need to go and get sorted. I do. So on that joyful note, it is Monday and I am signing off for the last time of this vlog. I'm going to log off and go do my jobs to start the week off, and then hopefully tomorrow we will be back with you with a brand new start to a brand new vlog. Dinah's saying bye as well, in a very own, very special way. Here she is. So, from me and Dinah this week, we hope you have the most incredible week. We hope it's fully relaxing and not stressful in the slightest. And I hope you find joy in every single day. Not all day, every day, because that would be impossible. But in all the things that you can do. So, for now, I am going to love you and leave you, and I will see you very shortly on next week's vlog. Have the very best week, and we were so nervous when she's got her claws out. Anyway, from me and Dinah, we wish you the best week ever, and we will see you shortly. Bye.